Hey friends, my name is Lindsay. Welcome to Love Them Well. So I want to share with you today a book that my students recommended, and it is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Several of my students have been reading this series throughout the school year, and they're always like, Mrs. Croxford, you have to read this book. And I read it in like 3 days. It was so good. Now, sometimes fantasy is hard for me because there's so many different names for places and creatures and names of people. And so sometimes it's hard for me to keep that all straight in my mind, especially when there's a lot of background stuff going on when you have small children. But this book really did take me away to this fantasy world, and I really enjoyed the characters. It was a blast. Now, I will say that I don't know that I recommend this for kids maybe under the age of 16, actually. There were 1 or 2 parts that just got a little bit steamy, but it is very possible that my 7th grade students didn't even process what was really going on, which is good. And it didn't cross any lines that were too extreme. I just thought, oh, I don't know, that's quite a kissing scene. So I'm recommending this book for you mamas out there who are watching this. I think that you would love it. Put it on your summer reading list. Any mom out there who wants to read maybe what the kids are reading and really enjoy it too, this was great. So there's 3 books in this series, and I read the first one, and then my students recommended, then skip the next 2 and read the second series, which is part of the same universe but different characters. And so following what they said, I also got the next series, which is this Six of Crows and also Crooked Kingdom. So started reading this. I would not have understood what was going on in this book if I hadn't read this one first, because of what they call all the different mystical creatures and characters. So definitely recommend reading this one first. And also, I'm really excited to find out what happened to these characters in the second and third book. So I got those from the library. I'm trying this year not to buy as many books because it's breaking the bank. The library has been great for teaching me self-control. Oh, and I will say that this is also a Netflix original series. So my husband and I watched the first episode the other night, but then I had to stop because I was afraid it was gonna spoil too much of the end of the book because I wasn't finished with it yet. And it's actually really cool. The first few chapters of this book were a little bit hard for me to picture, and then when I watched the first episode of the show, I understood it. The way the shadow fold looks and all of that, it just made so much more sense after watching it on screen. Not to say that her writing is not good, it's just was easier to understand after I watched it. And what was really cool, and I realized after I started reading this one, is that they're combining both of these books. And so in the first episode, the characters from both books were in there, even though these are separate stories from the same universe. So I wanna know, have you read this? Have your students read this? Has your child read this? It is very good. We are getting ready to start a unit where the kids are gonna be reading books that they have chosen, and they're gonna be writing a literary analysis on those individual books. I'm really excited about it. So we're gonna have lots of time in class to be reading. All right, happy reading. I hope you guys all have a great day. Bye.